Ooh, did you hear? Just knowing about a spiritual concept does not mean that you actually are embodying it. We are in such a interesting time on the planet where people are performing the divine feminine or performing the divine masculine. They think that wearing a dress or because you can cook means you are in your divine feminine energy. No, those are actions. They think that if you are a man and you open the door, you pay for the dinner, you are in your divine masculine. No, those are just actions. They think if you talk softly, you're in your divine feminine. If you talk boldly, you're in your divine masculine. No, those are just words. Those things can be beautiful and they can be part of the divine feminine, the divine masculine, but the truth is, the script doesn't actually mean embodiment. You performing a role doesn't mean embodiment. And it's interesting because there's a lot of narcissistic humans on the planet who are now reading up on what it is to be a divine masculine or even a divine feminine. And they're trying to play a role. Ooh, goody. You can't fake energy, because energy doesn't lie, not in this energetic universe. There is a difference between knowing about a concept, acting out a concept like the divine masculine, versus actually embodiment. Embodiment is the energy you live in. And when it comes to a divine masculine, true protection cannot be run on performance. Divine masculine energy, it's the way a man's grounded presence can regulate your nervous system without him saying a word. It's how you feel safe to soften and expand and express yourself. Not because he opens the door or pays for your dinner or because of what he says here and there. It's literally his energy you can feel. And that energy is always there because he can't turn his energy off. Unless he drops dead, that's his energy. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most overlooked forms of energy harvesting, which can most likely come up in karmic relationships, but truly anywhere. And that is possession disguised, dressed up as protection. Possession versus protection is something we need to talk about because I'm seeing way too many people fall into the trap of being energetically possessed rather than divinely protected. We'll learn how to spot the difference between a divine protector who is truly in his masculine energy, embodying that masculine energy, versus an energetic, spiritual possessor who is simply performing. And we'll talk about why, when you are in a chosen vessel who came here to expand on a divine mission, coming against you will have consequences far beyond this physical world. Before we get into it, what's up, positive bitches? How are you doing today? If you're hearing this episode, then you're meant to be here, so keep listening. On that Bitches Positive podcast, sometimes we will laugh. Other times, baby, we're going to cry. But we will always walk away feeling our most empowered, positive bitch self. That is babe in true connection with herself, himself, or human self. On this podcast, we unbecome who we are not so we can fully step into exactly who we came here to be. You know, if you want one-on-one sessions with me, I'm a certified life and energy coach, Reiki practitioner, and intuitive channel. You can DM me on Instagram at Vibin with Cece. My link will be in the show notes. Be sure to get your copy of Show Up as Her to have a physical representation for all of the topics and concepts we discuss on this podcast. If you're looking for workbooks or digital courses, you can find those links in the show notes. I highly recommend pairing the Pedestal Path course with this podcast episode and the Divine Feminine Healing Workbook. Whether you are a divine masculine or divine feminine, it is of the utmost importance that you are able to distinguish and discern whether someone is actually rooted in their divine presence or if they are performing. Because I am leading with my divine feminine, I'm going to talk from my point of view, but no, this goes both ways. Possession usually does not come in guns blazing. It tiptoes in with microdoses of control. It starts off with them telling you, I'd rather you not wear that. to them completely controlling your wardrobe. It starts off with them saying, I don't think I like that friend of yours, to I'm going to tell you who you're allowed to and who you're not allowed to hang out with. It starts off very small, very innocent. And let's be real, sometimes you do have a friend that's not a great influence on you, and your partner is going to speak on that. Sometimes maybe you are wearing something that looks god awful, and your partner is going to be like, I think you can do better. But you have to understand that there are two very different intentions behind a protector versus a possessor. A protector will see someone who could potentially harm you. And what is their intention going to be? Their intention is going to be, I really do want you to feel safe. I want you to be safe. Their intention is one that's out of love, that's pedestaling you, that's born out of wanting to make sure you're safe. It's about you. A possessor, it's not about you. It's born out of fear. It's born out of their ego, and it's actually because of their insecurity. They don't want you hanging out with that person or wearing that thing or going wherever you wish to go because they are insecure. They feel inferior. It's born out of fear. The way they express themselves, you will be able to feel in your body, this person is actually trying to protect me versus they're trying to contain me, they're trying to possess me. At first, it can sound like care, but over time, if these microdoses grow bigger and bigger and bigger, that's also how you know it's a possessor. They're checking in about everything, what you wear, what to say, who to be, until you can't hear your own intuition over their voice. A possessor, the way they talk to you, it's condescending. Every conversation, they are consumed in themselves, their discomfort, their preferences, their narrative. They're not trying to find solution. They're just attacking you. You will always be wrong. They will be against you. It's not the both of you on the same team trying to find a solution together like a protector would. You end up constantly defending yourself while they twist the situation to make you the problem. This is blame shifting at its finest, where you walk away feeling smaller, guiltier, and more confused than when the conversation started. A possessor can be a Jezebel spirit in a divine feminine. A possessor can also be a masculine who is completely stuck in their ego and in their darkness. I'm going to break this down further for you. A grounded protector holds space for your growth, whereas a possessor shrinks you to feel in control. A protector trusts your choices. A possessor overrules your decision. A protector feels like safety and stability. A possessor feels like walking on eggshells. A protector encourages independence. A possessor creates emotional dependence on themselves. A protector respects your boundaries. A possessor pushes or ignores them. A protector celebrates your radiance. A possessor feels threatened by it. The difference: you feel the protector in your body. They will feel like a calm expansion. They will feel like a safe place to go. You will feel like you're free in their presence, like you can speak your mind. Whereas a possessor, you will feel constant contraction, constant anxiety. I recently cried in front of a man because I was having a very long day, and I had an energy session that day with one of my coaches, and I was working on releasing this program around always feeling like I have to defend myself, like I'm doing something wrong, especially after that last karmic relationship I was in. My karmic partner would bring something up they were insecure about, but then flip it on me and say that there was actually something wrong with me. And even when I would sit in front of that karmic partner and literally cry and my voice would be shaking trying to express myself, it was like there was nothing there. There was nothing there. When I cried in front of this other man literally yesterday, he stopped me from walking, embraced me, started kissing my head, just creating such a safe space for me to show up in and express myself. And later on, when I reflected on why I even cried and what was actually coming up for me, I said, hey, like, I'm going to make a note about why I was feeling these emotions when we were talking today, and we can talk about it whenever we both have free time. And he said to me immediately, let's just hop on the phone right now. I was like, what? Because in my karmic relationship, we would have a problem and he would just kind of go cold and tell me it was my fault and my problem. And I would have to be the one saying, hey, let's get on a call. Hey, let's try to figure this out. I was always trying to create a safe space for the possessor, whereas a protector will create a safe space for you to show up in, and you will feel a distinct difference in your body. The most important thing is how you feel in their presence. That's going to tell you everything, because energy doesn't lie. Someone can speak words and lie. My karmic partner knew what to say. They knew to open the door to pay for dinner. That's not enough. I know someone else in my life who knows to open the door to pay for the dinner, to do the quote unquote protective thing. But it's an act. They're playing a role. They're speaking a script. It is not just about that. You have to go deeper. And that's really what I'm learning in this season. Deeper discernment. Oh, there's so many levels of this. It never ends. But there's so many levels. And I think about it, and it makes perfect sense, because as a woman, I know that I could put on a dress and put on makeup and talk softly and say, I'm so feminine, but be completely in my masculine energy. So of course, a man could be saying the right thing and doing the right thing, but actually being their wounded feminine and be harvesting my energy. We have to go beyond the 3D, and we have to be asking ourselves, how does my body actually feel in their presence? Possession is a form of energy harvesting, because you're constantly bickering with this person. You're constantly trying to show up for yourself and be on the defense. You're constantly trying to make sure that they're okay and create a safe space for them. It's not always by force. We get sucked into it. We fall in love with these people. We want to show them that they're safe. But as a divine feminine energy, you're meant to be having a safe space created for you most of the time. Why would we even attract this into our reality? If you grew up with a controlling parent, your nervous system might confuse control with love. You're not drawn to the controller because your soul feels seen and safe. You're drawn to the controller because your wounds are recognizing the control as a form of love. But that form of love is not love. That's illusionary. That's a lie that you're telling yourself. That's a pattern that one of your parents had that you're associating with love, because as a child, you assume, this is my parent, they must be loving me, and if this is how they're loving me, that must be love. That's not love. That's control. And so now you're attracting a controller into your life to show you, okay, time to get deeper with my discernment. Time for me to recognize that safety is not control, that love is not control, that divine union is not based in control or fear or ego. You have to rewrite your love program. You have to decide as an adult how you want your love narrative to feel. And if one of your caregivers were a possessor, that means this is something that's in your bloodline. So it's up to you to step up and to break this cycle. This is about healing your bloodline, saying no to this dysfunction that you have known, and end this generational pattern, this generational curse. You have to end this. You are chosen to end it because you're listening to this podcast right now. You are chosen to end it because you are the one getting the information. Your ancestors didn't have this freedom to choose to have financial stability in the ways we can now. Protectors and possessors can sound very similar, and that's why it's so important that we're having this conversation. And I also invite you to comment on the YouTube video form of this podcast and say what you have noticed about protectors versus possessors, because we all need to talk about this. We all need to share our experiences so we know, first of all, we're not alone, but secondly, that this is tricky. And it's okay to not have all the answers, but it's not okay for us to go on and act like someone saying a script and acting a role is enough. That is not enough. And I was talking to one of my friends actually, and we were saying how The men that we have been attracting are better. At least they know to act like they're masculine. At least they know to speak like they're masculine. They're saying the right thing. They're doing the right thing. So we're getting closer, but they were not embodying the masculine. And there's another level to this. It's not good enough that they buy you flowers or pay for the date or pick you up. You know why it's not good enough? Because we have cortisol in our body and we don't feel safe, and we literally felt scared sometimes. So that's not good enough. That's not okay. We didn't come this far just to get this far. We didn't come this far to have a fake relationship based in ego. No, we can't settle. We must continue to be selective, because the more you say no to less, the more you're actually welcoming in a higher vibrational match. The difference when it comes to protectors and possessors is their presence, and it's their intention, and it's the way they're going about what they're saying and what they're trying to get done. A protector and a possessor might have a similar idea where they want to know that you're home from wherever you just came from. A protector will go about this by being rooted in love and with care, and they might say, hey, text me when you get home so I know you're okay. A possessor, however, is going to talk to you very condescendingly, and they'll say, I need to know when you're home, where you are, who you're with. You can tell that it's coming from a place of control, and it won't even be just that. It's also going to be somehow, some way they're blaming you. You're out too late. You're doing this. I don't like what you're wearing. There will be more. There will always be more. In my karmic situation, when I got back home from a dinner, I went to CVS to get something. I actually got him this cinnamon thing, and I was texting him the spiritual significance of putting cinnamon in your home. And then my friend wanted to visit her old coworkers at this little tiki bar that's on the same island that I live on. And so I was sending him pictures of the tiki bar. I was like, this is so Floridian. And he got very cold. I didn't really know why, but I thought, all right, well, I'm going literally to see him tomorrow. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. And we did say that I would call him when I got home. So when I got home, which was, by the way, like 10 p.m., I also am not drinking right now. So I was completely sober. I said to him, hey, I'm going to take off my makeup and then I'll give you a call. I know if I get on the phone with him, we're going to be on the phone for like 5 hours, and then it's going to be like 2 a.m. and I'm not going to have my makeup off. So I just wanted to take off my makeup, wanted to clean up a little bit, and then I was going to call him. He didn't like that. He did not like that, and it caused a fight. But the way the fight happened was complete disrespect towards me. Not, oh, I really would just like to call you right now so that I see that you're home. Not, can we get on the phone now just because I'm going to bed soon? No, I am now the devil, and everything I do is wrong, and I need to be punished for it, and I need to be held accountable. And yeah, so I was constantly defending myself, and I totally get wanting your partner to call you when they get home. I get that. I would want that too. I totally understand that. But the fact is, I just wanted to take off my makeup, and then I was going to call him. That's all. That's all. And I communicated that. And I was sending pictures throughout my whole entire night. Like, even now, I feel like I'm still explaining myself. And, I don't want to cry, but I see how this karmic relationship really affected me. And I see how I feel so defensive now. And I don't blame that relationship for doing that to me. But it definitely brought this program to the forefront of my being. I actually will thank my karmic for triggering this within me so I can heal it and release it, because I know that I didn't start just defending myself with him. I started this a very long time ago. I've been defending myself since I was a child. So I know this is not a him thing, but it was very jarring to my nervous system. And again, I'm crying, but I invite us to cry together, because I know if I'm feeling this, I'm not the only one. My mom was very Catholic, and even when I was manifesting or talking about my abilities, it was always seen as demonic and not good and evil. And I always had to defend myself and say, I see how it helps people though, and I see it how it helps me, and I see the good it's doing. How could I be so demonic and evil if it's doing so much good and if it helps me? And when you grow up with parents who are very controlling and have exact ideas about what you have to be, and I talk about this in my book, Show Up As Her, but my dad always wanted me to be perfect, and my mom wanted me to look perfect. So I always felt like nothing I was doing was good enough. So I was constantly defending my body, what I looked like. I constantly was defending my intelligence and trying to prove through every top program I could possibly get into. Oh, I got into it, and I never had below a 3.9, and I was on every sport and every club, and every talent that you could have, I also have and embodied. And because I had this assumption created in childhood, this belief system that I had to defend myself, I eventually attracted a relationship where that was really what I was doing the whole entire time. And it's just time I release that. I don't need to defend myself anymore. This is just who I am. Whether you think I'm good or bad or pretty or ugly or messy or neat, this is just what it is. I just am what I am, and I can't. That's it. That's it. That is it. And it wasn't until this karmic relationship that this program has been so highlighted for me. So I'm very thankful for it. But even yesterday, as I found myself being defensive, and the guy was saying, your energy just shifted and you seem defensive now. And I just started crying because I was like, yeah, I probably am defensive. Probably that's true. But at least I can say I feel like I'm being accurately mirrored right now instead of having someone distort me. I felt like in the karmic relationship, my reflection was so distorted. It just wasn't accurately representing who I was. In this connection, I'm being mirrored. Even when I don't like the reflection necessarily, I know it's clear though, because I was being defensive. That is just true. But I felt like I had to protect something, and that's why I felt like I had to protect myself and what I built, my life. In my karmic relationship, where I was constantly defending myself, I felt really contained and like I was always contracting, and I always was putting up walls because I was constantly just having arrows shot at me. And yesterday when this all unfolded, even though he was saying, I feel like you're being defensive right now, I still knew it wasn't to attack me. He was just trying to understand me. He was trying to understand why my energy shifted. And that actually allowed me to expand, because then I was able to say, hey, look, this is happening in my life right now, and this is where it stems from. And he just listened and got it and didn't judge me for it and just existed. And he even was saying to me, I don't think you're bad or good or anything. I just want to understand you. I'm not judging you. I just want to be here for you. And I think I just forgot what that felt like. I'm sorry. I can't. I have been crying so much. I'm very sensitive these days. And I feel like because I've been detoxing my body and not drinking any alcohol and just spending more time with God, I'm like super sensitive to the touch. I did not think this episode was going to unfold this way. Whoa. I am working on a lot of patterns right now, guys. So I'm very self-aware right now. And it just, I don't know. It's sometimes painful to look at yourself, and oh my God. Whew, okay. And I think that's why people avoid it. But there's so much liberation in it. There's so much good in it. There's so much healing in it. So I really just, can I also say thank you? Thank you for, I was thinking about this the other day and I totally forgot to say it, but I have felt so misplaced in this world for my whole life, actually. And I'm so thankful that I got to create this world with you, positive bitches. I am so thankful. I don't know what kind of state I could possibly be in if I didn't have you, because you hold such a safe space for me. And I'm just so thankful. So thank you. I'm going to try to pull it together for the sake of just getting my point across. So there's you, right? And then there's me. And we are aligned because there's probably something I'm saying that you can resonate with that you need to hear right now. And what I want to say is you girl or you boy, you human and me, we are the humans in our bloodline that are meant to break these cycles of confusing control with love, confusing always being on the defense with connection. The shift begins with us. So if there is a controller in your life, you got to remove them. And I know it's not easy, but you got to remove them from your orbit. If you don't remove them, you are serving yourself on a silver platter. You are making yourself the sacrifice, and that is never meant to be your role. You are the altar, not an offering. Secondly, you have to stop performing. Because I always thought I wasn't good enough, I was trying to match the conditions my parents had for me growing up. And then I would try to match the conditions my romantic partners had for me. So in the karmic relationship, it was basically do all the emotional labor, show up for me all the time, be there for me whenever I need you. But if you have an emotion or you feel a certain type of way, it's just not as important and there's not really space for it. So I basically had to be the mother, the martyr, but I wasn't being offered a connection where I could actually have an equal energetic exchange or a partner. So that means I had to not only remove them, but I had to decide I'm not going to perform for love anymore, because as much as they were performing being an energy possessor, I was performing being in that mother or that martyr mode, trying to just fulfill all their conditions. And I needed to instead allow myself to be free. But because I didn't feel free or safe in their presence, I couldn't do it with them, but I could do it without them. I could do it in my own energy. I could do it potentially with someone else. I had to remove them so I could refocus on me, refocus on giving myself permission to show up in all of my authenticity, and then attract from that place rather than from a wounded place of I will become what I need to become in order to match their conditions. Step 3 is go to God for direction. Ask God to give you eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart full of discernment to understand the situation clearly. You will get dreams. You will get internal inklings. You will see something on your For You page that will give you more information. You will get your signs, but you have to ask for them. Step 4 is building safety within yourself. And that is something that I've been channeling not only from my clients, it's just so crazy how you guys are so aligned with me, but also the collective. You have to build safety within yourself, and that means becoming your own safe space. And that means actually working on your divine masculine energy, making sure that you have a structure to support yourself, a daily routine that supports yourself, that you are creating financial stability in your life so that you know you can rely on yourself. This is all about really refathering yourself, which is something we haven't really talked about because we've been so focused on divine feminine energy. But if you're wanting to attract a whole person instead of just a half person, then you actually do have to become a whole within yourself first. It's interesting because growing up, we've heard a lot, you complete me, or my better half, or my other half. But really, don't we want to attract someone who's a whole in themselves? I mean, I do. I don't want to just attract someone who's in their masculine energy or their wounded masculine energy. I want to attract a balanced individual, but in order to have that, I need to be balanced within myself first. And that means I need to create more safety, more security, more stability within myself first so I can feel safe within myself, which will then allow me to feel safe with another person. If someone isn't safe, I'll still be able to discern that and then just remove them. Step 5 is communicate, communicate, communicate. Stand up for yourself, speak what's on your mind. And sometimes, standing up for yourself means expressing yourself. And sometimes standing up for yourself means staying silent and just walking away. You'll know what to do. But please protect yourself, not out of fear, but out of love and devotion for who you've been and who you came here to become. I think some reflective questions that you can ask yourself is, do I feel like I'm growing, or do I feel like I'm constantly shrinking? Do I feel scared, or do I feel sacred? Even if I give myself permission, does this person allow me to be all that I am? It's a good question. Or do they only have space for me when I'm doing for them, when I'm mothering them, when I'm the martyr for them? Who am I even seeking permission from? Myself or from them? How does my body feel in their presence? Remember, if we just look at performance, their words, their actions, it's not enough information. We have to ask our bodies. This ancient technology will communicate everything you need to know. Something I want to bring to your attention, though. I don't believe in doing harm to others. I do believe take no shit, but do no harm. The reason I'm saying this is because I don't want to see us getting wrapped up in things that have nothing to do with us. Remember, no man is your friend. No man is your enemy. Every single man is your portal. And it's important that we have reverence for what I believe are different soul contracts to expand us, to be a catalyst, to be an activator, to push us to the next phase of our own evolution. And the reason I'm saying this is because you are not meant to take on the job of karma. Karma plays itself out. It's one of the energetic principles, one of the energetic laws of this universe. Okay? So I don't want to see you getting wrapped up in something that you should not be wrapped up in. When you are exactly who you are, who is someone who is trying to heal, attempting to heal, healing, wants to give love to this world, is a light worker. If you're listening to this, I'm sure you're some sort of light worker. There is something about wellness or spirituality that you're into. I'm sure that even if you are literally having a job that has nothing to do with light working, you are a light worker with your friends, with your family, okay? I want you to understand that when someone does go out of their way to attack or manipulate you or betray you or dishonor you, someone that is literally a divine vessel that has not only, in my opinion, been chosen, but really you're choosing. You know, you chose to incarnate, you chose this path, you chose to heal these things, and you chose to pick up your calling. You chose to answer it. You are choosing to do the work. You are choosing to get back up every single day. When that is the type of person you are, the divine recognizes you. Your angels recognize you, and you therefore have this higher protection placed on your life because you are picking up the call. You are saying, I'm going to take on greater responsibility and I'm going to be a light worker, not just in my own life, but for other people. When the divine knows that you're a vessel for it, when the divine knows that you're going to do light working for it, you then get extra protection because then you are an instrument of God to create greater healing, greater abundance, greater ascension on the planet. So it's like if you are the MVP, you're going to have some special protections around you. Put it that way. And you are spiritual VIP or MVP because you are choosing to answer the call and choosing to help the planet. When someone tries to go against you, they're actually not going against you. They're going against the divine now because you have surrendered your will and you have agreed to be a part of thy will, bringing greater light, greater love, greater healing to the planet. So now when someone goes against you, it's not them going against you. It's them going against the divine. It's them going against the tens or the thousands or the millions of people you're going to help. The light workers I'm talking about, these earth angels, high priestesses, prophets, whatever you want to call yourself, the ones that carry these divine codes for healing and prophecies and timeline shifting for collective liberation, you are sealed in the spirit. To go against you is to interrupt the divine's plan. If someone does you dirty, that already is their karma. Because number one, they're losing you. Number two, they are now going to have to take it up with God. And karma, this energetic law, karma knows everyone's address. There's nothing you have to do. You don't have to send this long paragraph. You don't have to try to get them back. And honestly, please don't, because then you're just creating worse karma for yourself. When someone goes against a chosen vessel or someone who's trying to be this light worker, they are automatically going to have karma, knowing where they live and going after them. Because now it's not between you and them, it's between them and the divine court. They might experience sudden financial collapse or stagnation. They could get literally physically ill. They could have relationships fall apart, delays, misfires, streaks of bad luck, deep shame and obsession with watching the person that they decided to try to go against or manipulate or whatever it was. They might feel like they're not able to tap into their intuition as well. They might feel like divine guidance isn't coming online for them. They might feel like they're losing out on blessings and favor, which you do when you lower your frequency and try to harm people. You do then miss out on those blessings because now you're not in a receptive state to receive them. When you try to go against a light worker, there is instant energetic consequences. And I have to say, I've just seen this happen in my life so many times. It is simply a spiritual violation to go against a light worker who's trying to bring so much positivity onto the planet, because again, it's not just about the light worker, it's about what the light worker is bringing through. That's a vessel, that's an instrument of the divine. So their karmic debt is racked up immediately and seen in their reality instantly. So don't be surprised if they're dreaming of you or constantly sending you energy and then you're picking up on it, because they now have to deal with these consequences. Let the divine take care of this. Your focus, your mission is on bringing light and on bringing love, not trying to get people back, not trying to do anything against anyone who has hurt you or betrayed you. You don't want to live a day in their body, okay? You don't want to even understand how they could even get that way. So remove yourself from that equation and refocus on what you came here to do. The moment you stop mistaking a cage of control for your kingdom, you make space for love that lets you breathe. You make space for connections that make you breathe. And you make space for a connection with yourself, with the divine, where you learn to give yourself permission to show up fully rather than trying to live up to the conditions of someone else. Thank you for listening today. And I really hope that this sheds light on your own programming. That is why I expose myself weekly, so that you can learn from me and you don't have to go through everything that I go through. But a lot of you have experienced similar situations, and know that you're not alone. Know that God is always with you, that higher power is always with you. Your spirit team is always with you. You are so protected, and your ancestors, I just want to say, are so proud of you for breaking the patterns and the habits and the behaviors and the identities that they didn't know how to break out of. You are doing the hard work that they wish they could have, and because of that, your ancestors are even going to make sure you have extra divine blessings and extra support. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for doing your part on this planet. You are so lovely and precious and worthy of all that you desire, and I cannot wait to speak to you next week. Hopefully there will be no tears, but as we know, I can never promise that. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.